On my screen here, you see three windows. These are the three windows to the back ends of the three different profitable software companies that I currently have running. First is the Recruiting Ninja system. The second product I ever made is the Agent Care Center system. And the third product is the Paperless Pipeline system. And I'd like to show you all the numbers behind all these three businesses. But before I do, I'd just like to say, welcome back, everyone. I've got one of the most exciting videos in store for you today, and here's why. Today I'm going to give you a behind the scenes tour of my $500,000 per year software business. I'll be sharing information that I've never disclosed publicly before, and you're going to see what actually happens to build a software company. All of it. Now this begs the question, why? Why show you this? Well, a few reasons. One, I believe in transparency, openness, and honesty. I want you to know that I'm the real deal and that I know what I'm doing. Two, showing you step by step what I've done will expand your mindset and allow you to see what's really possible for you to create. Now I'm going to show you everything. The scripts to hire developers, the posts for your first iterations and the actual designs, and then how much I paid for it all. If you've ever been intimidated or scared by software, you will see how truly simple it can be. Now, I'm not saying easy, but it is simple. No longer will it be a black box. You'll have a framework for understanding the entire process from beginning to end. So let's get started by diving into the most exciting stuff, the numbers. My first successful product was the Recruiting Ninja system. Now, I didn't come up with this idea. It came from idea extraction. It came from me finding the pain by asking two simple questions. Recruiting Ninja was a system that helped real estate companies recruit real estate agents. Not helped, but helps. It's a present tense product. The original version cost me $400 to build, but I didn't pay for it. I built it for free. It took 3 months of the developer's time and has generated me on average of $8,000 per month since its creation. Now we're going to dive deep into how I built this product into a six-figure business. You're going to literally see everything. I'll talk about why it was once generating $20,000 a month and now why it's only generating $3,000 a month. I'm going to tell you all of the facts behind that. My second successful product was the rebuilding of a failed product called the Agent Care Center. Now, I didn't come up with the idea here either. The idea came from idea extraction. It came from me finding the pain, again, by asking two simple questions. The Agent Care Center is a system that helps real estate companies create super simple intranets. Now, the original version of this cost me $3,000 to build, but I didn't pay for it. I built it for free. This took 3 months of the developer's time as well and has since generated me on average of $5,000 per month since its creation. We won't be talking about Agent Care Center today, but I wanted you to see the numbers so you'd see how I'm generating all of my revenue. Again, full transparency here. My third successful product was the Paperless Pipeline. Now, I didn't come up with this idea either. I don't come up with the ideas for any of my software companies. This came from idea extraction. It came from me finding the pain. It came from asking two simple questions. Now, Paperless Pipeline is a system, Paperless Pipeline is a system that helps real estate companies manage their real estate transactions. Now, the original version of this cost me $8,000, and I had cash at this point, so I went ahead and paid for it. Then this just took 2 months of developers' time and now generates over $45,000 a month in revenue. And it grows without any of my direct involvement. Now remember, I didn't write any of the code for any of these businesses. In fact, software scares me, which is why I hire developers. Now, we won't be talking about Paperless Pipeline today either. I already did an interview on Mixergy that details this entire business. If you want to go learn about it, you can watch it there. Because here, I have something I think that is much more exciting. So you see, in all three, these products earn me well over $500,000 a year. And so this is called behind the scenes of a $500,000 per year software business. And now that I've validated this as true, I wanted to tell you the story about how I built my first software product of all time. Now, it's quite a humbling journey, and I have never told it before, so let's get started. Welcome to my case study on building a six-figure software product. I'm going to take you deep inside and show you everything I did to create my first six-figure software product within around 12 months when I was 22 or 23 years old. I built this without any ideas after being scammed for $12,000. Now, you'll hear about that scam story in another future video, but just know that I only had $123 in my Wells Fargo bank account at the time that I built this Recruiting Ninja company. And I built it without any idea of how to build or code software. I still don't know how to do that stuff, and I don't plan on ever learning it. Now, I built this business while still applying for jobs because I was so afraid. I was, by most accounts here, completely clueless on what I was doing. Totally and completely clueless. And I did it against all odds from a closet in my parents, in the basement of my parents' house. And I've since used this formula that I created when I was desperate now over and over again to create companies from nothing. So let's get started. After building multiple businesses over the past 7 years, I have founded a set of characteristics most freedom-based businesses need to have. If you want to have a business that will grow while you sleep, it should have these 4 characteristics. 1, an automated sale. 2, reoccurring monthly revenue. 3, no accounts receivable, so that means you get paid in advance. And then 4th, and most important, selling tools and shovels instead of digging for the gold. If you don't know who made the most money in the gold rush, it was the guy selling shovels and Levi Strauss, the guy making and selling the jeans. So I sell tools instead of using them. There's typically more freedom and money in selling the how-to rather than doing the how-to. Now, with those principles for freedom in mind, let's dive into how I started with my first product. Now, it's really important that you understand, like all of my successful products, I did not come up with the idea on my own. I just found the pain and solved it. Now, when it comes to software, there are a few key areas that will screw up the success of your venture if you get them wrong. First is the pain in the business idea that you're solving. It better be painful. Second is the developer being on time and on budget. And third, and most importantly, is the marketing. Let's talk about the pain of the idea and how I found the gold. Then we'll move on to the development being on time and on budget. And then finally, I'll spend the most time on, and I'll show you how I did the marketing to get the product to 6 figures. Now, it all started when I was 22 years old, sitting in an office meeting at my uncle's real estate company. He was the broker owner, and in this meeting, he was showing his agents all of the different resources online an agent had to use to do business in the office. I saw the agents writing down the sites on pieces of paper and getting frustrated. One of them asked, "Rob, is there a place that we can go to get access to all of these sites? This is really a lot to remember." Rob really looked sad, and he said, "No, we don't." But then I raised my hand, nervously, and said, "Rob, I could make a site that organizes all of these links into one location, if that would be helpful." Now remember, I was still in college at the time, nervous in this room full of accomplished realtors. Now, and this is for very good reason, because Rob runs the very best office in his city. No one can touch him here in Des Moines, Iowa. The entire room turned to look at me, all like in synchronicity. All their heads pivoted over my way, and Rob said yes, followed by the room saying yes, 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 yes. Now, I didn't know how to design websites. I just offered a solution to the pain, got a yes, then figured out how to get it made. Now, this is important. If you remember from Sam Oven's case study, he didn't know how the product would work before he offered the solution. Remember this point. So after getting a yes, I used Joomla.org, which is like a WordPress CMS platform, because I didn't know how to make a website. And so because I didn't know how to make a website, I just Googled how to make a website with links. And then I found Joomla, did a few clicks, and I had a website set up. Anybody can do this. I used a point-and-click interface to add the links the agents needed, and then my uncle went crazy. He loved it. The site was realestateconcepts.net. He was like, "This is the best website in the country. We can recruit more agents with this. I've got to show this to more brokers." So he went and got me my second client, and I set that one up. Then I went back to him to ask him to get me my third client, and he laughed in my face and he told me to get my own clients. I said, "Get my own clients? How does that work? How do I go out and do that?" And he said, "Well, here's a list of all the RE/MAX brokers in the country. Start calling and showing them the website." And thus began the most painful and rewarding experiences of my entire life. After 6 months of calling, I sold just 5 products. It was awful. But then fate dealt me a wild card 6 months in as I was selling realestateconcepts.net to a broker in Texas. So 6 months into cold calling, and I never gave up, I was on a 20-minute phone call with this broker where I heard no over and over and over again. I said, hey, would you like this product? Do you like it? He says, no. But he stayed on the phone with me. So I was like, well, what about this section? Do you like this section? He's like, no. And I was like, what about the calendar section? Do you like that section? He's like, no. And I was like, what about the file section where we store all of our files? Do you like that section? And he was like, no. But then I showed him this section, which is, here is the Agent Care Center product, and this is the recruiting section of the website, where it has all the videos that Remax provides for free that I have put onto a site that the brokers use to recruit real estate agents, just in this one little section. And when I showed him this section of the Agent Care Center, he said, oh, can I have this section? I just want this section only. And I was like, why? Why do you want just this section? And he's like, well, so I can recruit agents. And I was like, oh, is this important to you? And he said, Dane, this is all I think about. And then I was like, holy crap, boom, I found the pain. I asked my uncle, and he validated this as well. Now you can take this framework that took me 6 months to learn and apply it to your next conversations. Go ahead and ask the next business owner you talk to, what is the most important activity in your business? And then, do you have any pain associated with that activity? Those 2 questions are awesome. Get ready for gold. To get this product built, I started getting a design made using the SitePoint Marketplace, which is now called 99 Designs. And here you can see the actual job posting for my product on 99 Designs. You can see I titled it Unique Recruiting Package to Recruit Real Estate Agents, and I paid $250. And then I had all of these design submissions made, and then I picked my winning design right here. So this is the job posting that I use to get the product designed, because I don't know how to design products, so that was how it was designed. But I want to make a quick point. Notice the copywriting changes that I've made over my life as I've gotten better at copywriting. Real quick, we start at the bottom here. Unique recruiting package to recruit real estate agents. Incredible opportunity to brand your design on a Remax project. 22 design submissions. This is awful copy. It has nothing to do with what is a designer would be interested in hearing. Remember, when you use copywriting, you use it everywhere. So let me scroll up to the top and show you, as I got better, look at this copy. Wanted, 1-page web design, fast feedback, quick project, top talent only, clear instructions, template provided, needs your genius touch. 108 entries. Just by talking about what's in it for the designer, being very clear about getting into the designer's head and writing to them, I had 108 entries. This is the kind of stuff in copywriting that I'm going to teach you in the foundation. Now, I sold 5 of these custom templates after I got it designed by attending a local broker owner conference in Nebraska, and then I had them installed manually by my developer and designers while they were still building the system. So I was making sales while the product was being built. I didn't wait for it to finish to start selling it. So once I got the product designed, I went ahead and then posted the job posting on the job boards. So here is the job posting that we posted to get the software product design. And here you can see I used vworker.com. You can go there and create an account. And then here you see is the message summary that I said I want you to take the design template at this broker's website, because I already had it set up for a broker. And then I want you to make that into a custom system, so when a broker registers, they're only going to need to enter their name, their office name, their city, and their state. And then I had this project designed for this, not designed, developed for $400. And you can see just 95 messages later, over 3 months, and talking back and forth with the developer, we got this product developed. So that's pretty simple. That's just how simple it can really be. It's not much more difficult than that. People make a really big deal about hiring a developer. Just go post a job posting. No matter how clueless you are, you can just say it. Hey, I'm clueless. It's my first time building software. I need help. You just say those things, and developers will help you. And this is the end result that we built with the developers. We took that initial design, which you remember had like 4 steps, and we kind of changed it around a little bit through some iterative things. And this is what the final product looks like. And this is the back end today. So you can see here, let me just log in. So you can see here when a broker registers, they go through these 8 steps and then they have a website set up. So the first step is to set up the template that they would like to use. And we only started with just this one template called 4 steps, if you remember the 4 steps one. But we added these more templates just over time. As the product generated revenue, we reinvested a percentage of that revenue into making the product better. And because revenue is reoccurring monthly, this is easy to do. So the broker goes through these 8 steps. They get their recruiting website completely set up. And this is the entire system that I had built for that initial $400. Now, as you watch my approach to marketing, you'll see how the idea is only as good as the marketing muscle behind it. Now, my business started off with cold calling, then emails making an offer, and then it evolved into education-based marketing via emails and webinars. When I was cold calling, I was making around $4,000 a month. When I was emailing offers, I was making around $10,000 a month. When I switched to education-based marketing, I started making $20,000 a month. So you see, as my marketing skills improved, so did my income. So nowhere in here do you see as I got better at coming up with ideas or as I picked the right idea, I made more money. It was as I built my marketing skills, I made more money. Remember that. So I'm going to skip straight to the best stuff that I did for marketing so you can see it. Now, if you've heard my first Mixergy interview, the first one I did of all time, you'll hear how Andrew Warner just berates me for sending spam email to a cold list that has never heard of me before. How did I get away with doing this? By sending amazing, remarkable content. But I didn't start out studly. Here's the first pathetic email I sent promoting the recruiting product. Interestingly, this email actually produced sales, but it wasn't nearly as good as the education-based marketing emails, which you'll see in a second. Now, what's hilarious about this is how uneducated I was about email marketing. I sent this email with a PDF attached, and that's a terrible spam flag. But in 2007, it worked. Today, if I was using a PDF, I would just put it as a PS at the bottom of the email. And I'm guessing the email would still probably work. Here you see is a link to the PDF that I attached right here that actually talked about the product, and you'll be able to see that in the PDF report below this video. Now let's jump to one of my most effective marketing emails I've ever sent. Here you see the subject line says, 2 recruiting mistakes, do you make these? This had a 21% open rate and a 21% click rate. 100% of the people that opened this email clicked on it. And so here you can see, if you want to pause it to read it, you can, but you'll also get it as in the transcript below that I'm giving away for free. Now, I created this report from a broker I met while cold calling. In that email, I reference a report for education-based marketing to help brokers with recruiting. Now, this guy said he was the best recruiter in the state of Arizona, and he wanted my state-of-the-art recruiting product. So I interviewed him on why he was so successful, and then I asked him questions, and then those questions became the report, and then I used that in that email that you just saw. Here's another email blast I sent out that had a 21% open rate and a 9% click rate. This email is talking all about how brokers can hire a recruiter into their business. This has nothing to do with actually building a recruiting website. It's all about education-based marketing on how brokers can hire a recruiter. So, and here's the second page of this, and you see I'm giving away an MP3 recording of an interview where I interviewed a broker on how they can hire recruiters. And then at the very bottom, you see a nice subtle call to action for learn how they can easily build a unique and profitable recruiting website at Zany.com. Now, I will give that away in the transcript as well, so you don't have to stress about writing that down or anything. But what's cool about this is that I set up that last email I just showed you to go out on a Saturday, which is a good day to send your business-to-business emails because they don't get much spam on these days. Now, I was in Las Vegas when I sent this email out, and I remember sitting at a hotel by the pool in Vegas when I got a call on my super sleek Motorola Razr back in 2008, I think, from a guy who listened to that interview. He said he really liked me and he laughed a lot on the call. And he was very impressed with me, even though I was quiet and just asked questions most of the time on the phone. He still really liked me. And he went on to buy all of my products right there on the spot while I was sipping on a margarita. And that's why I love internet businesses. Now, this is one of my best emails as well, so pay attention to this. Subject line is a recruiting idea for first name. So we manually merge the first name of the subject line. We have a 25% open rate and an 18% click rate. Now this links to a video which I'll link to in the transcript below that you can watch to see, but to keep this video as compact as possible, we'll continue. Now that last email that you just saw, I got 5 clients right on the spot from that email, which is like one line. And in the video I talk about, this is like 2008, right? So but in the video I talk about this new tool called Facebook and how brokers could incorporate it into the recruiting website. It's quite a hilarious video when you watch it. But so that's the marketing side, and those are just 3 emails of like 50 that I sent over the year. Okay, and now I ended up moving into webinars, and my most successful webinar signed up 30 brokers out of 120 on a single webinar. Now breaking that offer down and the entire sequence would be an hour in itself. So I'm going to skip that and move on to some other ridiculously awesome points. I do talk about how that webinar works inside the foundation. Let's talk about how I doubled my prices from $100 a month to $200 a month, because there's a really good business lesson in this. Now, I did a whole product launch and rebranded the product from Zany.com recruiting website system, which is an awful name, but I didn't know, I had no clue about naming stuff when I got started. So everything when I got started was awful, and it still worked. You can be awful and stuff will still work if you're taking action under the right direction. But I renamed it to the Zany.com recruiting website system. I renamed it to Recruiting Ninja. Now I went from 90 paying customers at $100 a month to 110 paying customers at $200 a month. I didn't lose a single customer, and I had 2 of them upset until I told them about the extra benefits. Now my income went from $9,000 a month to $22,000 a month, and this is really like in a 30-day time span. Now it was hard to do this emotionally. This was really a traumatic experience for me, raising prices, and anyone who's raised prices before, you know the battle is mostly emotional and in your own head. The mechanics are simple and it can be done. But I thought about this price change for a year before I had the balls to finally do it, and this was an amazing growing experience. So I was able to double my prices because I completely understood the end result I was providing to brokers. Brokers are not buying recruiting websites, they are buying an end result, which is more recruited agents. Now, I understood the value of an agent was $3,000 a year to $20,000 per year, just for one agent. That's just one agent. And my system, the Recruiting Ninja system, for the last few years helped brokers recruit anywhere from 2 agents on the low end to 12 agents a year. Now that's a $6,000 to $36,000 per year value, and they're paying $100 a month for that. And the $100 a month is robbery for me to be charging so little, so I wanted to charge more once I understood the value. So what I did is I helped brokers get even closer to that end result by helping them out, by adding more value into the system. Now, once I did that, I was able to double the price of the system. So I was able to double the price per month by adding in a marketing system. Now, the marketing system helped them get closer to the end result. Now, in talking to brokers, I was asking them, hey, what do you want to use this product for? And they said to recruit agents, to automate my recruiting, and to save time with recruiting. Those 3 things came back. So by asking that question, I learned that, and then I spoke that language and created the product with those things in mind. Now, I created a new feature designed to help brokers get more of that end result. It's called the Recruiting Ninja Checklist. And here you can see they have the recruiting website set up, 10 out of 10 items. They get ninja status in that category. Then the recruiting website marketing content, which is all the stuff they need to have for content to market their website, 5 out of 5 items. And the next item is the Facebook page setup. And so this was a brilliant, simple way for brokers to systematically set up the recruiting websites. What happened is brokers would sign up for the product, then they just put their personal assistant onto this checklist to run the checklist. And let me just show you actually how it works. If you were just to go down to, say, the recruiting hit list setup item, you say, all right, the recruiting hit list needs to be purchased and gathered. If you click see how, it scrolls down, and then there's this video that plays. There are quite a few different ways to, and this is like a 1.5-minute video that walks through how to get your recruiting hit list purchased and gathered. So what they do is they watch the video, then they hide it, they check off the item, then they go down to the next one, watch the video, hide it, check it off, go to the next one, watch the video, hide it, check it off, and now they get access to the next item, setting up their email software. So this is all like really top-notch stuff. And yeah, so that's the Recruiting Ninja checklist. And that, by adding this little checklist, that's what allowed me to double the price of the system, because this checklist includes a lot more than just what I showed you. We'll get into that in a second. Now, one of the things that brokers think they need to do is make custom videos to do their marketing, but you don't need to make custom videos to create amazing content. You can actually create amazing marketing content from thin air. And here's a landing page for how I did it without making a custom video at all. So here's an actual page. We have a landing page, lead gen page platform inside the Recruiting Ninja system, so brokers can really make these nice attractive pages with a few clicks. And this is a 30-second video on Michael Jordan's success secret. Well, he doesn't call it a success secret. Well, yeah, he does. But this is his video on failure. So a broker will promote this to an agent. An agent will come watch this page. Let's just say the agent had a really bad day. They got rejected a lot. And then they watch this video and they see, oh, wow, Michael Jordan missed like 5,000 basketball shots. Like, wow. And then they apply that to real estate. So then they get inspired. They click contact me privately, and it pulls the screen down. And then the agent can either request a meeting, have lunch on the broker, have coffee on the broker, or attend a class or a training event. Now, this is amazing on its own, but we take it one step further, because what we do is we help the brokers actually with the email copy too. So let me just click on this, and inside the Recruiting Ninja system, you'll see all these marketing emails that we've written for brokers to send. And here you see this one on subject line, Michael Jordan's success secret, or Michael Jordan's secret, failure. What do top real estate agents and Michael Jordan have in common? Answer, find out here. After watching the video, I think you'll find that the secret isn't about winning. Let me know if this helps your day shine a little bit brighter. So we give brokers this email, and this link is already preloaded with the URL to their Recruiting Ninja website. They just copy paste it into their email, send it out to agents, and agents are inspired on a very consistent basis because this broker is helping them be inspired. And so this is pure gold for real estate companies. And I want to zoom out to a business principle real quick here. The most valuable asset in a business is the customer list. Now, most business owners do not take care of their customer list or even have one. So businesses who stay in touch with their customer list always win, especially if they're adding value. Now, most business owners struggle in these two areas. One, building a customer list, and two, staying in touch. You can apply this principle of building a customer list and staying in touch and help companies in any industry and make a small fortune. Craig Ford is the owner of ServiceForLife.com, and this service makes anywhere from, I'm guesstimating, $5 to $15 million a year. And this is just a service that helps real estate agents stay in touch with their customer list. This is big business in almost every industry. You can do it in attorneys, vets, doctors, and insurance agents, etc. Now, I'm not trying to get you into the newsletter business, although it does fit the business model for automated sales, recurring revenue, and selling tools. This does work. I prefer software. And I just wanted this example to expand your mindset. Now, brokers are no exception to this problem of staying in touch with their customer list. They have a customer list just like any other industry. In this case, their customer list is the hit list of agents they want to recruit. And then they need to stay in touch to this list to recruit them. Now, a broker will have anywhere from 200 to 3,000 agents on their hit list to recruit. In the real estate space, an agent will be susceptible to move about 4 times a year. Now, that means that the agent's usually in an office and the broker does something to upset them about 4 times a year. That's the time you're most likely to be able to recruit them. Now, if a broker, but you don't actually ever know the time a broker is going to upset the agent. So that's why you have to stay in touch. So if a broker stays in touch consistently and their email comes in at the right time, they will win that agent. And that's why consistency in recruiting matters for a broker, and the message and all that timing stuff matters as well. Now remember, I got into this recruiting space knowing absolutely nothing. All this knowledge I share with you now, I learned by just asking questions. And over time, I learned a lot. Despite the success of Recruiting Ninja though, I wanted to be making more of an impact on the world, so I've walked away from that product. And let's talk about why I shifted from the recruiting space to transaction management. When I left on my trip around the world, Recruiting Ninja was doing about $24,000 a month. Paperless Pipeline was doing $16,000 a month. When I came back from my trip around the world for 3 months, Recruiting Ninja was down to $20,000 a month, and Paperless Pipeline was up to $20,000 a month. So one grew by $4,000 a month, and one went down by $4,000 a month. Now, Recruiting Ninja is an amazing lifestyle business, but it only grows if I continue to devote 1 or 2 hours a day to it. Brokers need hand-holding, which was fun for me at the time, and it was a great first business for me. Now, there are plenty of brokers out there who want Recruiting Ninja, but it takes my focus away from my new vision with the foundation, and I don't want that distraction. Again, I didn't touch either business. One grew and the other didn't. So let's talk about why Recruiting Ninja didn't grow. And to do that, I want to detail the 7 elements that need to be in place for a lucrative software product to kick butt and continue to grow. Now, these 7 elements are what we've created in the foundation, and we challenge this list all the time to make it better and better and better. Now, if you'd like me to share the full report on these 7 elements, just let me know in the comments below, and I'm happy to share this as well. So let's take Recruiting Ninja through the 7 elements. Does it solve a painful problem? For recruiting, yes. Are customers proactively seeking a solution? For recruiting, yes. Is the product instantly demonstratable? For recruiting, yes. Does it take 1 hour or less to implement? No. Maybe 5 hours. And if brokers don't implement it fully into their marketing, they usually drop it. Is the product a layer 3 or 4 idea? Yes, this one's about 3 layers deep. Layer 1 ideas are usually all-in-one software products, and layer 3 or 4 are the more niched out software products like, oh, I only need help with recruiting. You don't want to be in the all-in-one software product business, really. 6. Would my customer continue to do whatever task my software does, even if my product didn't exist? Now, for most brokers, no. This is a big one. Most brokers don't make recruiting a priority. The Recruiting Ninja is an aspirational purchase for them. Now, if we use Basecamp, 37 Signals Basecamp, if you ask, will people continue to do projects with or without Basecamp? The answer is yes. Makes it a great product. Now, 7, if my product requires a change in behavior, does my customer think the benefits gained are greater than the pain to change? For most brokers here, again, the answer is no. Now, these last 2 are super important. I don't want to fight human behavior here because it's super draining for most brokers. It's just super draining to fight human behavior, right? And they don't make recruiting a priority. Here's why. If a broker stops recruiting agents today, they don't hurt for about a year. And then they end up failing, blaming the world, but it's really because they didn't make recruiting a priority. However, if a broker stops doing transaction management, they feel pain instantly. Now, for 80% of the brokers, the ones who fail, recruiting is optional in their mind, but transaction management is absolutely required. So, let me repeat this. If a broker stops recruiting, they won't hurt for 12 months. So the pain isn't instant, so they don't really do it. And in the transaction management space, if they stop doing that, they hurt today. Their business fails instantly, so they're forced to do it. So here you can see I've got brokers asking me to sign up, and I just ignore them. I don't even reply. Now, this is one of 3 emails I've gotten in the last couple weeks. And this is quite a bit of money that I'm turning away, but these emails, they come in from all of the automated marketing. And the point of this email is this. Once you have the right mindset, you can't stop from making money. At this point, it's impossible for me to stop the money from coming in. It just keeps rolling in because I used my mindset to create all of this. This is what I want to teach you in the foundation. Now, this broker wants to sign up with Recruiting Ninja because of all of the automated marketing I'm doing, and let me show you a few quick things on that. Real quick, as an entrepreneur, choosing your focus can be stressful. I want all my focus on the foundation because that's where my heart is and that's where I feel like I'm creating the most value right now. So like I said, to wrap this video up, let me show you the marketing sequence I use to acquire real estate recruiting leads on autopilot. You might learn a thing or two that you can apply into your business. Here you can see we have 3 listings above the fold for real estate recruiting and real estate recruiting tools and other related keywords that all drive traffic into our sequence. So first, you can see our top ranking on Active Rain. Second, you can see below it our real estate recruiting tools on Zany.com. And then over on the right-hand side, 3 down, you see recruitingninja.com, and that's our 3rd. And we do pay for that listing, but here we are 3 times above the fold. So that's what really funnels traffic into our system. Now, recruitingninja.com has a 5-day follow-up sequence that sells the system. So brokers have to go to Recruiting Ninja, request the course, and then when they opt in, they get an interview with a successful broker for 5 days. Now, if you see here, this has nothing to do with selling the software. Notice how I'm not talking about that anywhere. And this comes from Chet Holmes' principle of education-based marketing and his legendary book on The Ultimate Sales Machine. Now, this chapter on education-based marketing really changed my approach. Now, instead of selling recruiting website software, I'm selling recruiting mistakes to grab the biggest audience. And it turns out that each of the mistakes that brokers make with recruiting is something that my recruiting system corrects. So a broker not being on Facebook, a broker not using email marketing, a broker not being on Google, or not using any analytics. These are all mistakes that brokers make, and each one of these mistakes is one of the mistakes in the 5-day course that we correct. And I'm using interviews with my most successful customers here. So if you're wondering, how did I figure out how to use Facebook for recruiting, and how did I figure out how to use email marketing for recruiting, I actually just found the best brokers that were doing that, and then I modeled them, and that became the checklist. So notice how we had 3 leads today so far on a Monday when I'm filming this, and 1 lead that came in on a Sunday without me doing anything. And look at the number 773. That list is responsible for me building a $22,000 per month business. Now each month I have around 100 brokers interested in the system. When I was working the system to close brokers and help them get set up, I would turn about every 100 leads into 20 new sales. But again, notice the list size of 773, and remember that. Small numbers. You don't need big numbers to make a really good lifestyle income. Now, this video was a lot to digest. So let's recap what we covered. Freedom comes down to mindset, and mindset is all on you. It is 100% your responsibility to develop your mindset so you can have freedom. We talked about the 3 things you must have in place to build a successful software company. Remember the painful idea. It better be painful. 2, the developer delivering on time and on budget. And then the marketing. Now we touched on how the closer you get your customer to their desired end result, the more you can charge them. Very key point to remember too. You got to see the 2 critical questions I use to uncover this gold mine of an industry. What's the most important activity in your business? And do you have any pain associated with that activity? And then you got to see how those questions actually manifested into a software company. You learn the 7 elements of a lucrative software product. Very important to run your ideas through that 7-question framework. And you got to see all the numbers for my first successful software product. And that was a lot to cover in one video, so I hope you stuck with me.
In the next video, Andy and I are going to show you what's been blocking you and what's been stopping you from finally starting a business. Many people are blocked and stopped by things they don't even know exist. Deep internal mindset issues, deep stuck emotions, and deep things on the heart level. We're going to talk to you about how to make core shifts and core transformations so that you can release these blocks and then move forward and have abundance in every area of your life.